Bobby Fischer played this game in year 1956 when he was just 13 years old. His opponent was Donald Byrne, who was an international master and became grandmaster in just a year after this game, which shows us why Robert James Fischer is considered by many as the best chess player of all time, and also the talent he had. The game of century starts by knight f3, knight f6, which is the reti opening, and after c4, there is something known as a transposition, which means that white could have started with pushing this pawn, but instead he did it on the second move, and now we are in the English opening. Fischer played g6. He was a big fan of putting his bishop on long diagonal in such a positions. White played knight c3, preparing e4, bishop g7, tacking the long diagonale and aiming to the center of the board, d4 taking the center, and black castled. This opening is called the Grunfeld-Indian defense, where white has a big strong center, and black is trying to attack it with all the pieces he has. It is one of the hardest opening with a lot of theory and lines that leads to hard tactical positions like the one that we'll see in this game. I really don't recommend this opening to beginners or even to advanced players, because it is just too complicated. White developed bishop to f5, and black played d5 attacking the center. Queen b3, takes, and c6. More in the spirit of the opening was knight a6, with plan of enforcing c5, but it wasn't well known at the time. Byrne played e4, taking advantage of black's passivity, and Fischer developed a knight to d7. Rook d1 supporting the center, knight b6, developing knight with a tempo, queen c5, and bishop g4, pinning the knight on f3 to rook on d1. And can you find why white's next move? Bishop g5 is bad. Try to find move that Bobby Fischer played. I'll give you a couple of seconds. It is knight to a4. But why can't you take it? Well, if you take, I give a fork. Take knight, and then a piece back with a pawn extra, so white played the best move, which is queen to a3, but it still loses a pawn, or does it? Can you find why bishop takes on e7 doesn't work? It is because of lack of activity from white pieces. I just play queen b6, and if you take the rook, you have just too weak e-file, and I'll take material back with almost winning position. So white, instead of taking the rook, played bishop c4, and pause the video and try to find the best move. While you are searching for the best move, you can click on the subscribe button if you are enjoying this video. Thanks. The move is knight takes c3. If you take, you will have problems. Again with e-file and would have to give back a bishop. But what do you do after bishop c5? Again, pause the video if you didn't see that move and try to find it. First, you give a check, making it impossible for white to castle. And in this position, Bobby Fischer played one of his most famous moves. Bishop e6, sacrificing the queen. And white took it. Better was queen takes c3, where black would sacrifice queen. Again with a pawn extra, but white might have some chances for a draw. But it didn't happen. Can you find why? Black can just give up his queen. It is because of windmill that white will have after bishop takes c4 check. White played king g1, and now black has knight e2 check and white king can't escape. So white took first a pawn, then a bishop while attacking the queen, and then he took the rook. This position is a perfect example of strength of minor pieces and Bobby Fischer's accuracy. Just watch how easily he wins this position with such precision. First he took a pawn, then another one. Then he simplified the position, went forwards with his pawns, and beautifully checkmates his opponent. First he gave a check, white has to go to e1, then he gave another one, making white king go to d1. Then he brings his bishop, then his knight, give another check, and give a checkmate. So that was the game of century. Give a like if you enjoyed this video, and tell me in comments in what game you would be interested in. Good luck on your chess progress, and see you next time.